What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down the difference between Division I wide receivers and Division III wide receivers. So we're going to be talking about the differences on film, what college coaches look for in Division I wide receivers, and why certain wide receivers end up playing lower division ball. So I hope this video can help you guys out. Also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you would like to know the things you should do on a day-to-day basis in the gym and on the field, check out that very first link in the description below for our Ultimate Wide Receiver 4-week training schedule. Like I said, it's a month-long training schedule with the exact gym exercises and on-field drills. We give you examples of each exercise and drill, the exact sets and reps, and what to do on a daily basis. It's all completely mapped out for you. So check out that very first link below if interested, fellas. Let's get started. So now, this first play here is something I want to talk about in terms of what you should put on your highlight tape if you are a wide receiver and you're trying to play at the collegiate level. So if you're a guy, like let's say you're junior, sophomore, senior in high school, and you have aspirations of playing college football, your highlights are the most important thing, right? Especially at the wide receiver position, you have to be an explosive playmaker to be able to stand out to Division I coaches. Now, again, if your goal is just to play college football and you maybe don't have these specific plays, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying what a Division I coach is going to want to see. We're going to kind of compare and contrast them. So we're looking at two examples here from wide receivers who don't play Division I ball. And then we're going to talk about two examples from wide receivers who do play Division I ball. So this first clip here, this is a touchdown, right? Now, as a wide receiver, you probably want to include all of your touchdowns on film. But when you're catching a route, and it's just like, just a basic 5-yard out, a basic drag. You don't really have to do anything. You just have to kind of catch the ball and go run and score. That's kind of the difference between a guy who's maybe at that highest level of college football and a guy who's not. Because on your film, college coaches want to see an explosive playmaker. Can you help our team? Or are you just going to be another guy? You know what I mean? Every wide receiver catches touchdowns at some point. But can you run explosive routes? Can you create separation? Or are we just kind of scheming you to get open? Are you getting open because it's the right play and all you got to do is just catch the ball and go run 10 yards? Those are not the plays that you want to include on your highlight tape very early on. You want to include the plays that are explosive very early on. Because chances are a college coach is probably only going to watch 1, maybe even 2 minutes if you're lucky of your highlights. So you can't have just every touchdown at the very beginning. Have your most explosive plays. You see how this touchdown, he's catching this simple drag route and turning up the sideline? I would rather see you catch maybe a 12-yard curl, for example, break a couple tackles and get 10 yards after the catch rather than this kind of basic TD. Because I expect you to make this play if I'm a college coach. I don't expect you to break the tackle. That's a highlight. A highlight is what we don't expect out of you, and that's breaking tackles, yards after the catch, 50-50 balls, etc. So let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. So now, the next example after we finish this play clip is going to be an example of a wide receiver catching a touchdown pass decently deep down the field. But to be honest with you, this doesn't really showcase a whole lot. This is something that you see because, it's a deeper pass downfield, whether it's a deep post, whether it's a deep streak. I'm not saying that you don't want to put, if that's all the film you have, by all means, put it on there because you need everything you can get. But I am just saying, when you compare and contrast, and it's noticeable, fellas, and this is how you can know, too, honestly, if a guy's maybe not worth the 5-star, 4-star, whatever kind of ranking that they get. Because when you look at their highlights, it's noticeable. A perfect example I love to compare to, some of you probably know who he is. His name's Evan Stewart. He's a receiver out of, I believe, Dallas, Texas, but I know he's in Texas. And I think he's at Texas A&M now. But when you watch his tape, you're like, damn, that's an explosive wide receiver. And you could tell it's noticeable right off the bat. But when you're a wide receiver and the plays that you have on your tape are plays where you're catching a deep ball, but you're wide open and you're not really having to go up for it. It's just kind of like a throw that's right to you. That's not going to stand out to a D1 level coach. Now, I get it. Sometimes in your offense, you may not have those opportunities to make explosive plays. Maybe you don't get the touches, maybe whatever. And a coach will know that when he's watching your film. But if you have those plays, do not wait till the end of the clip or the end of your highlights to show them simply because it's not a touchdown. I want your most explosive plays. I want your best catches. I want that at the front of the tape. So let's play this full speed, and then we're going to show two examples of what a D1 college coach would be looking for in a wide receiver. And fellas, if you're a senior, junior, and you're like, man, I don't have any of those plays where I'm breaking tackles, taking a screen to the house, that's not the end of the world. At the end of the day, the goal is for you to play college football. And if you have dreams and aspirations of playing Division I football, there are a lot of avenues to get there. I am just giving you the perspective of what a college coach would want to see out of you. And this is as clear as cut what it is. So let's look at this example here, because this should be a play that would be like the first play on your highlight tape because it showcases a lot. So look at this. So basic screen pass. Now, to some of you might think, okay, this is just a pretty basic play. But watch, breaks one tackle, breaks a second tackle, yards after contact, makes a couple guys miss. And then you see he ends up scoring. But even if he would have gotten tackled at, let's say, the 5 yard, like even if he would have gotten tackled here, I would have still included that early on my tape because it shows that I can make something out of not necessarily nothing. Obviously, he had it blocked up very well, but I can make people miss. I'm a playmaker. At the end of the day, as a receiver, that is our job. Our job is to make plays. So you have to stand out on film by being able to make plays. I got to make people miss. I got to be able to run after the catch. I got to break tackles. Now, something that like a lot of people ask me like, hey, coach, how do I work on this? You know, like making people miss, throwing a cut. What does that look a lot like? That looks a lot like a slant route. You know what I'm saying? That looks a lot like a break you would throw on maybe a post route. Fellas, route running is at the end of the day how you can get better at this stuff. There are no like there are specific drills, I guess you could say, but there are no really like things I can tell you that would be different from the technique we emphasize with route running. If you've been keeping up with this page, keeping up with our past videos, you know we talk a lot about hip dropping, being sudden with your cuts, being explosive with your cuts, and sometimes we'll give drills to work on that. Dude, those things apply to this. You just have to work on that explosion. You have to work on being an explosive playmaker if you want to make that jump to the highest level of college football. So let's play this thing again, full speed one more time, and then we're going to show one more clip of an actual college wide receiver, not a high school highlight tape. And again, just the evidence to back up and to serve the purpose of, okay, this is what college coaches are looking for, and this is what they want to see out of me. So this is a router. This is a sluggo route from a wide receiver who plays D1 football at Virginia. And I just want to showcase two things: how he's able to make a tough catch and be explosive. This is pretty much end of the day what they are looking for at the Division I level. So I want you to watch this sluggo. So a sluggo, obviously slant and go. You break to the slant and you were taking 3 hard steps to the slant, trying to get this DB to crash. And that third step has got to be explosive because you have to put the brakes on and slip back upfield with some speed and with some explosion. So when he breaks, you see how everything he's doing, he's running in full stride. He's running in full speed, able to put the brakes on and cut. And now he's able to drive off of that cut, keep his head down, and get about a step or two of space. Now, you might ask me, like, well, how important Division I, Division III, Division I not playing in college? Well, a big part of that is speed. And yeah, for sure it is speed. I think you have to be fast to play college wide receiver because guess what? This guy you're lining up against is going to be fast every single play. But to make up for your lack of speed, you have to be able to make those big plays. Right? So you have to be able to run routes. You got to be explosive with your cuts. You don't necessarily need to be the straightaway speed 4.4, 4.3, 40 guy, but you got to have great technique. You got to emphasize the details. That's why we go over all of these things, fellas, because that's a way for you to stand out on film. That's a way for you to be explosive without even necessarily having to be fast. And now, again, get separation on that sluggo, great technique, ball is thrown, and what does he have to do? He has to make a diving catch because we know that this is the type of situation, especially at the Division I level, that you will be thrown into. DB right on your hip, DB diving at you. He's got great recovery speed. DBs are fast. Are they confident that you can get open, and are they confident that you can finish the play? And that's honestly, fellas, the main difference. If you don't believe me, just check it out for yourself. Look up any 5-star guy and watch their highlight tape on Huddle. And you see, you're like, wow, that's a guy who's breaking tackles. That's a playmaker. And then you look up just some random receiver in your league, for example, and he's going to have clips of where he's catching a 10-yard post and running without falling down, and that's his first play on his tape. And again, that guy might go play college football, and that's great, and I want him to. It's just that's the difference between those high-level guys. You have to be that playmaker. You have to make something out of nothing, and you have to be able to finish. Let's play this thing again, full speed. Great example of this sluggo route, showing the explosiveness needed to play at college football and being able to finish with that catch. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Always appreciate the feedback. Always great to hear from you guys as usual. And again, fellas, if you'd like a 4-week wide receiver ultimate training schedule, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to get you guys on that. I'll see you next time.